I'm from Macy, Nebraska, home of the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska, northeast part of up there by Iowa, and a little bit maybe north of us is South Dakota, but right on that, tri-state area. So it's a beautiful area right next to the Missouri River. Um, so again, just a beautiful area. I'm proud, man. Proud to be from there.
Absolutely. And as you know, I grew up, well, didn't grow up. I moved every 2 years. My dad was in the military, and Omaha, Nebraska was an area we lived in for a while. And Omaha isn't like Macy, where you live. It's a different, people don't realize that Macy is in cornfields and just completely flat. They'd be very surprised, I think, if they drove through that part of Nebraska.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about your tribe and the name of your tribe and how long some of the history briefly.
Well, a short history of it is we came from the Ohio Valley. We speak what I want to say dialect of the Siouan language. So we were all one big tribe, but then we branched off over the years. We came down from the Ohio Valley back in, I want to say, early 1700s, and we resided here. We were the only tribe. We were here first out of the four. I believe there's four tribes here now. And so I'm very proud of that my people were smart in a sense that we negotiated. We didn't go on this losing battle with the federal government. Unfortunately, that's just the way it was. We negotiated and we settled, and which I'm very proud of that. We didn't go through this big slaughter, so to speak, as some tribes have. So I love our motto. It's against the current. That's our motto for our tribe, is we go against the current. Missouri comes down and we go against it. And it's kind of fitting for what I do with squatching even, we said, well, despite some beliefs, Ci'Tonga obviously was created by God, and we're set out to, in a respectful approach, we set out to learn more and to really prove his existence. And so, it's unique. It's got it was good, brother. It's been good.
Yeah, it has. And you caught my attention some years back, and I just knew when I saw some of it, I'm like, man, this is a real deal. And it hooked me in and intrigued me. So again, I'm just thrilled to be talking to you. And what's the name of your research group?
Well, we our name is REZ Squatching Research. For Facebook purposes, we have an older page up, but we don't use that anymore. And I just haven't deleted it yet, but it's still there. Maybe I still go back and take information and evidence that we gathered from the start. But right now we're called Res Squatching Research Community on the end on Facebook. So it's a private group, it's a closed group, so you'll have to click on to join. So got a lot of great stuff there, man. Our page is growing. I'm very proud of what we've done.
It sure is. And I've actually been one of the guys that joined. So I joined.
All right.
I joined, and whoever accepted me, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm surprised you didn't look at my profile and go, nah, man, we don't want that guy. So when growing up in the reservation in Macy your whole life, when did you first become aware? And people call him Sasquatch, Bigfoot, but it's Ci'Tonga is what you call him, right?
Yeah.
When were you first aware of it? What made you aware of it?
Well, I'll say it again. I've said it on other podcasts that being raised in a native community, I probably knew about Ci'Tonga or Bigfoot before I really knew Batman and Robin. It's just kind of interwoven within your culture. And my people, like all First Nation people, we place a high regard for them. And at least my people do. So, for example, a non-native, they treat it like it's some creature, and that's not to say anything bad on anybody, just the way it was. It's part of who you are. And so I get it. They're ignorant to it. And so I know I take a little offense to some of the things that are done, but I've learned to live with it and accept it. That's just the way the secular world is, and that's how they view it. And I think eventually they're learning. I'd be safe to say this, that I don't think there's one person out there who's listened to us and who's tried to understand our approach, who can say that they didn't learn anything from us. I know we've changed some views and some beliefs out there about him, which I'm very proud of now. People won't tell you that personally, that, yeah, I was on Red Squatching's page and I heard a team member or Barry say this. That's okay, man, because that paradigm, that shift has changed, brother. They're now respecting them more. And I know administrators are on my page, go back and they'll comment about some of the things we talk about, which is cool. I'll take it. I don't. It kind of happened. I want to say maybe by accident even. The community started having. There was a lot of activity. I mean, there was credible relatives and community members who were actually seeing them in their backyard, getting into their trash, and it was just like an influx. Like, what's happening out here? At the same time, the Finding Bigfoot show was on, and it was Hollywood was really trying to do this $1 million prize or 10, whatever that was. And so it was really a hot item. And so that one night, my son, after watching a Finding Bigfoot series, said, "Dad, let's go out there. Are you scared?" He kind of offered that son-dad challenge. And my wife gave me the go-ahead. That's all I needed, brother. The rest is history.
What were some of the more dramatic, like by dramatic, I don't mean scary. I mean, when you had interactions, what was one of the first ones maybe that when you actually saw one, what was that like? How did that happen?
We really started to dive into research that scientific side of it. And so we were documenting everything, the weather, the wind speed. I mean, we were really trying to take that scientific approach. And after a while, it just started to evolve. And then as it was evolving, it taught me I won't say that I'm fluent, but it really brought me back to my roots in terms of learning my language. So I was able to, start learning my language. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, maybe later on tried to learn it, but I've learned to speak my language in certain situations. So my language, the prayer, the respect factor that my people believe all came together in what we call our approach. And it's interesting that you helped me recapture that again, because it was the involvement, not by accident, just by diligent prayer and humility. And as that came together through inspiration, we had what I call the 20-minute encounter. We were coming around the bend, and my cousin had a flashlight, and we passed this area up, And he said, go back, bro. Stop, go back. And it was just the way his tone and the way he was saying it. And I thought, come on, bro. You didn't see a deer eyes, did you? No, bro, just go back. Sorry, bro, go back. You know, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of cussing. And so I was kind of getting after him. Don't be bullshitting me, you know. So we backed up, and sure enough, we ran into who became known as and was named by me, Ishage. And so we lit him up. And that was one of my top 3 encounters, man. We lit him up. He was crouched down on like a football coach watching his team from the sidelines. We lit him up for about 30 seconds and he stood up. And that's on the page of our Facebook page where he looks like he's turning around. And he's white looking. So that was during that time, and that was my top 3, easy, my top 3 face-to-face encounters. We probably had more like a 40-minute encounter, but I say 20 just because I'm shortening it up, you know. So just incredible. I learned in that encounter alone, I learned so much about their behavior. I've yet to have any researcher out there explain or be able to tell me something similar. Or so, you know, that's just kind of a feather in my cap, I guess.
Yeah. Was he the elder of there was a group, right? A family group, right?
Yeah, he was the elder. Yeah. And I named him Ishage, which means oh man. Now people ask me to join their pages, and I seen this page. It said there's this one individual who says he communicates with the clan. And I thought, could that be me? And I thought, nah. But it was questioning they were questioning somebody, you know. But if it was me, then little do they know, right, brother?
Right, because they're not you, and you were there. You were living it.
Yeah.
Have you had communication where you can they speak to you?
You know, I'm not one of those guys that you know exaggerate a story. So I don't know that they've talked to me in samurai chatter. I probably heard samurai chatter maybe 3 or 4 times. I in our area we deal with more grunts, more the whistles. I heard a moan one time. The classic howl. Not too much. You know, I've heard people say they speak English. Well, I don't know about that, brother, but I think some of that little exaggeration a little bit. But anyway, I you know, I get this feeling sometimes, you know, and I'm not even a medium. I don't claim to be that. I get these feelings sometimes, and that there may be a little mind speak going on, brother. You know, but I'm not gonna argue with anybody on that. I know I've learned a lot from them though. I've learned a lot from them.
How would you say, do you know how many or approximately how many you think are out there as far as the clan goes?
Well, we know for a fact, me and my brother, that they stay within their color. So you're not gonna see, you know, this black one with reddish orange. You know, so we know that if the male is a certain color, then that's what his kids will be. Almost like human. I mean, there's not much difference, brother, after we've been, you know, researching them quite a bit. So last time I knew, there was probably 30 or more, but they're all in their small groups on our homelands. Now, to this day, brother, I'll tell you, there's more. So there's an influx.
What a lot of people don't know is also, your tribe's name is Against the Current, right? I mean, that's what it kind of was taken from, that, Against the Current. And I'm not going to embarrass you or anything here, but I was reading up about you, and I'm going to have to give you some props here too. But people don't know about Barry Webster is that he's a legit baller, basketball. You were. There's a story people don't know on ESPN.
Thank you.
And it was about you and your team, the United Tribes Tech College. Is that right? In 1988, you were playing, and you were down to 3 people playing against 5. You dropped 27, leading scorer, and you guys won the game. Then to me, that's almost like a metaphor for your tribe, right? Against the current, there's no way you came out on top. And you also have the school record, I think, for 46 points, if I'm not mistaken, in one game.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people talk about that when they talk to you, but I'm going to, because I was 5'10", could dunk when I was coming out of high school, blew my ACL out, and I was done. I was done. My baller career was over. So I got to hand it to you, man. You're a scrapper. You're a scrapper, and I know that about you. But I appreciate your you letting me talk to you. And where do you go from here?
At this point, we strategically, in being the slash co-founder, CEO, so to speak, I think what we're doing is we're just enjoying ourselves. I've learned this a long time ago, that if God wants something, he's going to make it happen. And so I don't need to, put myself out there, brand myself, as the business world calls it. That's sort of happening by itself. And I think it's bigger than me. It's bigger than, Red Squatching. It's bigger than this team. I think you'll find out that Red Squatching was blessed. I think it's about being humble and letting God guide us right now, seeking his advice. I don't think you're seeing, this Hollywood attention we thrive for. We're not trying to be of the world, I'm not sure, what direction we're headed, but I do know this, that if I stay humble, he'll guide me.